Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rolly back at it again with another video. If you haven't done already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, like the old videos, comment on our old videos with any topics that you guys want us to cover or want me to cover. I'm so excited. Football season is less than is a couple weeks away. This week coming up, we have college football starting. So we're just going to be talking about some college football preseason. AP polls, some college football topics like the players to watch, top 15 players to watch, NFL draft prospects, anything like that. That's what we're going to cover today. And then we're going to jump into the NFL topics. Like I said, NFL season is a couple weeks away. We'll cover the AFC East. No, I believe no, it's AFC West teams today. All right, so we'll go through the schedule, make predictions, anything like that, and just give my predictions for the upcoming seasons, what I think, anything like that. All right. All right, so to start off the college football season, the AP dropped a preseason top 10 poll, and it wasn't really much of a surprise to me. But let's just run through it real quick. We have Georgia as the number one team in the country, according to the AP poll. Then we have Ohio State at number two, Oregon at number three, Texas at number four, Alabama at number five, Ole Miss at six, Notre Dame at seven, Penn State at eight, and Michigan at nine, Florida State at 10. All right, so some takeaways. I want to go from 10 to 9. So Florida State, I believe they are bringing in a new quarterback, DJU. I'm not really a big fan of DJU, so we'll see how that go. But I think number 10 is too high for them to be ranked. I would like to see Miami at number 10. Miami is not in the top 10. The reason I would like to see Miami at number 10 is because of the weapons that they had last year. They brought in a new quarterback as a transfer, Cam Ward, and then they also bringing in almost 1,000 yard transfer receiver in Brown. He's a transfer. He had 815 yards receiving with three touchdowns last year. So I like Miami receiving core. I think Cam Ward it will be a great addition to the team. I would like to see them at 10, possibly make the college football playoffs this year, but we'll see. I don't like Florida State at number 10. Now, at number 9, we have Michigan. All right, Michigan, a lot of people, even though they are the defending champs, a lot of people are not high on them. I agree that they should be at number 9. I like their defense. I don't know what they're doing at the QB position specifically, but Michigan was never a pass-heavy team, so I like to see what where the running back situation would look like, the offensive line. They had a lot of players drafted this past season, so and then their head coach went to the NFL. So Michigan at 9, I think that's a reasonable preseason prediction spot for them. Penn State at 8. I do not like this pick. Penn State is always ranked high in the AP polls preseason. They always have a good month of September, and then they fall off towards October, November. So having Penn State at 8, I don't really believe in Penn State. Penn State is one of the teams that I have to wait and see for me to believe in them. I every season I go into the season believing in Penn State. I think they're gonna do good, but they always fumble at the end of the towards the end of the season. They can't beat Michigan. They can't beat Ohio State. And if you can't beat those two teams, I don't think you should be ranked top 10, especially over Michigan. You haven't beat Michigan in for so long. I know Michigan just lost a lot of players and coaches on both sides of the ball, including the head coach. But having Penn State rank at number 8 over Michigan, I think that is a mistake. Um, that's just me specifically. Me personally, I don't really think that Penn State should be ranked higher than Michigan or um, yeah, not until they beat Michigan for them to be ranked higher over them. So then we have Notre Dame at 7. With Notre Dame being seven, I think this is a good spot for them. I like the team that they put together last year. I know their quarterback went to the NFL, but I like they what is Marcus Freeman is doing over there. Um, Notre Dame, that's one of my like one of the teams that I like in college. I just like to see them succeed. So I'm gonna be watching Notre Dame. Hopefully they make the college football playoffs this year. And hopefully number seven, either they stay at seven or they will move up to possibly top five team in the country. But Notre Dame being at seven, I don't really have too much debate or any problem with them being at number seven for the preseason ranking. At number six, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss is one of the teams, kind of like the Penn State of the SEC. They always going into the season always ranked high, and then fumble either at the end of September or beginning of October once they start playing good SEC teams. So Ole Miss, again, I don't really think they should be ranked that high. I don't really have a team that I would put over them right now off the top of my head. But having Ole Miss as the number six ranked team in the country, that I feel as though that's kind of premature. We still have to see what they would do. Like I said, they're the Penn State of the SEC. Now we're moving into the top five. Top five, they have my Alabama Crimson Tide at five. I could understand why they have them at number five, but I would not have Oregon over Alabama. That's just my personal opinion. I think Kellen, the new head coach, whatever his name is, Kellen. I don't want to mess it up. Kellen DeBoer. Um, I think he will be a good, refreshing voice on the offensive side of the ball. Alabama offense will look more explosive this year. I think Jalen Milroe will, develop as a quarterback. As far as the defensive side of the ball, we'll have to see if he put the right people in positions in terms of coaching, recruiting, everything like that to see if he could keep that dominant Alabama defense up. And it's Alabama football. Don't forget the running backs. Don't forget the offensive linemen. Don't forget the big guys up front on both sides of the ball. And I just have to wait and see. But I like them being at number five. Hopefully, they can move up in the season. My goal is to just make the college football playoff this year and just see how he does as his first year in Alabama. I really like him coming from Washington and what he did with Michael Penix Jr. So we'll wait to see, but I'm feeling really confident as an Alabama fan going into the season that he will get the job done. Possibly have us in the college football playoff, win probably one or two college football playoff games, and then hopefully have us competing for a national championship in the next year or two, and possibly winning a conference, the SEC, winning the SEC, and then also winning the college football playoffs, possibly in the next 3 to 4 years. That's just my prediction, and if he could do that, he will more than exceed my expectation for him. That's just how I feel about Alabama. I'm still a roll tide till I die. I understand Nick Saban is gone, but I believe in the structure and the core that Nick Saban has created within the Alabama football organization, and I think that is something that if you have a more than competent coach that could come into the game, come into the organization, and pick up right where he left off. Not necessarily saying that he has to win championship in his first 2 years, but just make the college football playoffs this year. Possibly compete for the SEC, and then next year you build off of that by winning the SEC, and then being ranked top three in the college football playoffs, and just keep building, and then eventually by year 4 or 5 you win a college football championship. That's just my personal opinion. Roll Tide till I die. At number four, they have Texas. Texas. I believe Texas is one of those teams that a lot of people love. I will have to wait and see. I have reservation for Texas. I understand they're explosive on both sides of the ball, but at the end of the day, Texas, I just have to wait and see. I don't have a problem with them being at number four. I just I like the quarterback situation with I believe they have Quentin Ewers at the quarterback position. Um, and then they have Slade Bowden from the Alabama transfer. So I think their offense will be explosive. I mainly is concerned about I don't have any concerns. I just want to see how they play in the new conference. I believe they joined the SEC, so I want to see how they handle that and everything like that. Um, yeah. At number three, they have Oregon. I like Oregon in the top five. I don't know if I would have them at number three. I would possibly move Texas up to number three, and then have Alabama at four and Oregon at five. Um, I understand Dan Lannon has been the coach of Oregon for a couple years now. He's building a really powerhouse franchise, bringing Oregon back to the prestige that they used to be under Chip Kelly. What I would say is they have a couple transfers coming in with the quarterback Dalen Gabriel. So he should be able to pick up where Bo Nix left off as in terms of having the high power offense. I believe Bo Nix led the nation in touchdowns last year. So I believe Dylan Gabriel will be able to pick up where he left off. They have really good weapons coming back, and then they also have a transfer receiver, a 500 yards receiver, 4 touchdowns. So we'll wait and see. But I believe Oregon, being ranked number three, is a little premature. We still have to see what they do on our defensive side of the ball. Last time we seen them play a SEC team, they got punched in the mouth. They couldn't keep up with the SEC team. So I don't think having them rank over two SEC team is a good idea or is a good, you know. But we'll wait and see. Like I said, I'm not worried about Oregon offense. I'm more so worried about their defense. Okay. Give me a second. And then at number two, we have Ohio State. Ohio State, I believe they will be win the Big Ten this year. Um, Having them ranked at number two, Ohio State, I don't really have a problem with that. I like the transfer that they got from Alabama, the cornerback. So we'll see, wait and see. I'm not really, I don't have any reservation or any problem with the top two, to be honest. I like Ohio State at number two. I like Georgia at number one because I think Carson Beck will build off of the season he had last year. They have a lot of good weapons. They have a couple transfers coming in. So um, I think Georgia will be the top ranked team going into the season and possibly the top ranked team coming out of the season. I wouldn't say I would pick them to win a college football playoff. I just think that Georgia would dominate every game that they play this year, just because of the quarterback, the offense, and the defense. And I like the head coach. So that's just my takeaway from the AP poll preseason ranking of the top 10. Now I want to move on to the top 15 college football players in 2024. Um, I'm gonna run through the top 15. I'm just skimming through it and just seeing if anybody stick out. At number 11, they have Caleb Downs. Like I said, the cornerback from Alabama. He's transferred to Ohio State, so I really want to see what he does there. Um, Georgia, Carson Beck. Number At number seven, Ali Gordon at number eight. All right, and then we'll see, cause Travis Hunter at number three, Will Johnson at number four. We have to see. I don't. I'm excited to watch these players come in, not come in, but produce this season and have fun watching them play and seeing what they do for their team, whether it's transferring to a new team or building off of the last season with Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter might have a good season. I don't know, cause with the Colorado offense, they have a lot of freshman receivers on their team, and I don't know how that would look. I don't know if you keep Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball, or if you might move him just solely to defense. You guys know my opinion on that. I think Travis Hunter should just focus on the defensive side of the ball where he's an elite defender, elite corner. You could possibly go number one if you just focus on that one position. That's just my personal opinion, right? And then let's look forward to some draft prospects. So we have Emike Ibuka from Ohio State. I'm really excited to see him play. Like I said, Ohio State being ranked number two, I don't really have a problem with it. Hopefully they could this year beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. You don't have to worry about them being in Penn State because they always beat Penn State no matter what. I don't even think Penn State might even make the the championship game. So I like Emike Ibuka. I want to see how he produces this season, building off of last season, and I want to see where he does this season, and possibly predict where he's going to get drafted, how he would fit for that team that he does get drafted to. All right, then we have Harold Perkins Jr., the linebacker from LSU. Um, I want to see what he does also make a name for himself, building off of last year. Just watching him play, seeing where he's going to land in the 2024 draft and everything like that. Hopefully he could help LSU defense get back to the glory days. All right. Isaiah Bolden, like I said, he's transferred from Alabama to Texas. So I want to see what he does. He's going to make that Texas offense very explosive. So I want to see what he really does. And then building off of last season and this season, I want to see how his game would translate to the NFL, where he will land, everything like that. Then we have Shador Sanders. This is the quarterback with the most hype going into the season. I want to see how he handled the pressure because he kind of handled it. I wouldn't say well last year, but he wasn't terrible. His offensive line was terrible. So I want to see what he does this season and possibly where he lands going into the NFL draft. I want to see how he makes the progression from last season to this season to possibly being the top one or two pick in the NFL draft this year. Okay. And then some mock drafts we want to look at. So they have Carolina with the number one overall pick taking Mason Graham. Number two overall pick, they will take. They have we have the Patriots taking Will Campbell out of LSU. Number three overall. Some people this is just a projection of the 2025 NFL draft. Um, So you have the Broncos taking the edge rusher James Pierce out of Tennessee. I believe he was the top ranked player to look, yeah, top 15 players to watch in college football 2024 of this season. So, um, kind of excited to see what he'll do, if he'll be a top three player, if the Broncos actually need an edge rusher on a defense, if they fixed their quarterback situation. Most people believe that they did. And then number four, they have Washington taking Nick Scruton, edge rusher from Texas A&M. The Tennessee Titans will take Will Johnson, hopefully the cornerback from Michigan. And then they have the Giants taking the first quarterback off the board with Shador Sanders at number six. And then seven, they have Carson Beck going to Georgia, from Georgia going to the Raiders. And then at number eight, you have Devin Walker from Kentucky. So I just want to see what Carson Beck and Shador Sanders does this season, because they might be the number one, two quarterbacks taken off the board. Well, are projected to be the number one, two quarterback taken off the board. So we'll wait to see. I hopefully my Giants does not finish top 10 to get it up, not top 10, does not finish in a position to get a top 10 pick this year. But who knows? We might. And who knows, we might land Shador, we might land Carson Beck. Um, we'll just wait and see. But I like the weapons that the Giants are building. So if you do add either one, they look better than Daniel Jones. So we have that to look forward to. All right, give me one. Football. Transferring to the NFL, we have some preseason games that came up. Preseason is fairly underway, and I just want to focus mainly on not just the whole preseason, but I want to talk about the AFC West. Reacting to the preseason, how I feel, any takeaways, any you know key pointers, what I predict, anything like that for the AFC West. So I do want to start with some notable rookies from the AFC West preseason. Like I mentioned earlier, the Denver Broncos took Bo Nix. He has been very impressive this preseason. I believe out of out of all his drives, he has led a scoring drive, either field goal or touchdown. He has a three touchdown drive, and then three field goal drive. So I kind of like what they are building in Denver. I like the quarterback situation. Me, I wasn't a big fan of Bo Nix coming out of college because I felt he been in college for so long. So the numbers that he put up was kind of expected. Being that he was in college for that long. I like the arm talent. He's really producing with the Broncos. Hopefully, Sean Payton could do what they hope that he could do with Russell Wilson with Bo Nix. Build a quarterback because we really haven't seen Payton build a quarterback since Drew Brees. So we want to see if Sean Payton could, strike gold. He like come going into the draft, he compared Bo Nix to Patrick Mahomes as far as the arm talent. So I want to see if that's really, something that is comparable and anything like that. But so far this preseason, Bo Nix has been outstanding. And then another outstanding rookie that has been producing in the preseason is the Kansas City Chiefs receiver Xavier Worthy. I think the NFL is going to regret letting the Kansas City Chiefs get Xavier Worthy simply for the fact that he's like a Tyreek Hill. I wouldn't say he's Tyreek Hill yet, but with Patrick Mahomes, he could turn out and Patrick Mahomes could make him a Tyreek Hill. Um, so the NFL might regret letting him go, letting him get picked by the Kansas City Chiefs. So those are just some of the rookies that stood out. As far as the takeaway from the preseason for the AFC West, the Raiders QB situation is still a problem. Both quarterbacks have looked terrible in both preseason game. They have I don't know what they're doing on as far as the quarterback position. I like their weapons besides the quarterback position. So if they could find a competent quarterback to just get these weapons the ball with Brock Bowers, with Michael Mayer, you have Devontae Adams. Like you have all of these good weapons that you need to find a quarterback that could get them the ball, that could spread the ball. And I don't think Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell is the right person for the job. But hopefully they could have a decent season. I know this is Antonio Pierce rookie season as a head coach, so I'm hoping that they do good enough to build, but then able to draft a franchise quarterback that they've been looking for. All right, and then the Chargers really preseason hasn't been that fantastic or anything like that. Nobody has really stood out. They did have the quarterback have been injured, Justin Herbert, so he hasn't played at all in the preseason. And who knows if he would have played in the preseason if he hadn't got hurt. But Justin Herbert, I'm expecting big things from him this season with John Harbaugh as the coach. Not big season as in passing yards, numbers, and everything like that. I'm expecting to be more efficient, to win more, and just to produce in big time games. I feel as though he's going to be asked to do a little less than what he's used to. Because I believe they're going to be a run heavy team this year. So we will have to see what the Chargers do on the offensive side of the ball. I think defensive side of the ball with John Harbaugh or with Jim Hart, I believe it's John, Jim. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up, but one of them teams, one of those players, I believe they're going to be good. Um, so yeah. So now I do want to jump into. Let's look at some preseason power ranking. I'm gonna need touching on the AFC West teams, like I've been saying. So, some notable where the AFC West rank in the power ranking. You have Kansas City as the number one ranked team going into the season. Then you have the Raiders ahead of the Chargers at 24, Chargers at 25. And then you have the Broncos at 31. I think that is kind of like fairly where they should be. I would have the Chargers and Broncos ahead of the Raiders, but I can understand the Raiders have some good, like I said, good offensive weapons. I don't know how good is their defense, but with the offensive weapons that they have, I expect them to produce. I don't know what they're doing with the quarterback position, but hopefully they can figure it out, and hopefully one of those quarterbacks get the job done. You know the saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. So you guys really, the Raiders fans, Raiders organization, you really need to figure out what they're doing at the quarterback position. As far as the Chargers being ranked behind the Raiders, I don't really understand that. Being that I feel as though the Chargers are going to be a run heavy team this year, heavy ball control, and that is a winning recipe. And then you have a elite. I wouldn't say elite, but you have a good quarterback back there that if you situation downs, third downs. He can get the ball out. He can get the ball to the right player to get the first down, keep the chains moving, time of possession, and all of that. I think the Chargers this year will lead the NFL in time of possessions, just being the fact that they're going to be a run heavy team, a ball dominant team, and then the defense would just piggyback off of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season the Chargers are, in a power ranking of a top 10, top 15 team. As far as the Denver Broncos, I don't really think there's much expectation for them. They possibly starting a rookie quarterback. This is probably just like a build season, just to see where if they got the quarterback of the future, just to build on it, and then possibly going into next year, you then surround them with weapons as if it's the O line, the running back position, the receiver position, anything like that. And then as far as the defense, I like Pat Surtain. I think he's the number one corner in the game this coming season. So hopefully Sean Payton can get the Denver Broncos back on track. Possibly be a bubble playoff team. Possibly make the playoffs. Who knows? Um, we'll see. I'll give my prediction in just a little bit. Right. Before I do give my prediction, I do want to talk about some players that are under the most pressure going into the season. All right. Um, I want to start at number five. So number five to me, the player that's under the most pressure going into the season will be Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young needs to build off, just show a little bit of. I feel as though Bryce Young is getting over criticized for his last season. I feel as though he just needs to. I, I think he's in a better position now, with the head coach, everything that's surrounding him, the offense, everything like that. And I think that they will be better than people expect. I still expect them to be. I don't expect them to finish last in the division, but we'll get to the NFC predictions sometimes in the future. But at number five, I think Bryce Young just needs to have a good sophomore season. A lot of I feel as though he's getting fairly uncriticized. I mean, fairly unfairly criticized because of what CJ Stroud did last season and everything like that. So I think Bryce Young is going to have a bounce back season. That's my prediction. He's going to have a bounce back season. I believe he's going to win the AFC South, the NFC South. So hopefully not win the NFC South, but not finish last in the NFC South because a lot of people are piling on saying that he's not the quarterback of the he's not a franchise quarterback, this, that, and third. And it was the same noise that we heard with Tua until he got the right coach. So I would just hold reservation as far as saying if Bryce Young is the right quarterback for the job or if he's a franchise quarterback until we see him with a competent coach. Some weapons around him, and just hopefully he does that this season, build off of it. Um, at number what I got at number four, I would say the quarterback under the not quarterback, but the player under the most pressure. Let me see. Yeah, I have all quarterbacks. So the quarterback under the most pressure going into this season at number four, I would say would be Lamar Jack. Nah, let me see. I would say at number four would be Number four would be I'll put Lamar Jackson as the quarterback under the most pressure going into the season, simply for the fact that his he always have a good regular season, and then it's the playoffs. A lot of people are starting to notice it, especially the way the season ended last year. So hopefully he could get back on track. I know he could win MVPs. I know he could run the ball. I know if you give him weapons, he could possibly throw the ball. But a lot of people are just kind of feeling the Jokic Giannis effect before they won a championship. Oh, they're really good players, but in the playoffs they don't produce or not even produce. Not Jokic Giannis, but Jokic Giannis and Harden effect. Mainly Harden, you produce in a regular season. Playoff time come, you kind of fold. You don't do what you're supposed to do or what we're used to seeing you do. So Lamar Jackson, that's why I'll say you're under the most pressure. You have to show up in the playoffs because what you do in the regular season, we already know what you could do in the regular season. So it isn't like whatever you do in this regular season won't be a big surprise to anybody. Is what you would do in the playoffs. Playoffs is the one that you make a name for yourself, and hopefully you could build off of what you did last season. I know you made your first AFC Championship game of your career. You didn't play good, so this year hopefully you could go back to that game and play good or well enough so that people don't say that you're the problem or you're the reason that you guys lost because the decisions you made in that championship game was terrible. You didn't run the ball when you were supposed to run the ball. You threw the ball into triple coverage. You fumbled the ball, and then just all of that led to the team morale. You had Zay Flowers fumbling the ball, everything like that. So Lamar Jackson, that's why I'll say you're the number four quarterback under the most pressure. I believe in you, and I really hope that you could really show out this year. Because I would like to be honest. I'm a fan of you, but I don't like what you do in the playoffs, so I can't have you ranked ahead of other quarterbacks that have produced in the playoffs, like Josh Allen, freak. Like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes, any quarterback like that. I can't have you ranked ahead of them. I do think that people who have Justin Herbert ranked ahead of you is fairly brain damaged, and they need to reconsider their football knowledge, everything like that. So at number four, that's Lamar Jackson. At number three, I would say is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, this is a big season for you because we as fans, football analysts, anything like that, is just trying to figure out what player are you? Are you the player from your rookie and sophomore year, or are you the player from that third year, or are you the your rookie, sophomore, and then your this past season, or are you the player from that one season that you made the Super Bowl? Because if we people would start criticizing that Super Bowl run being the fact that you played the Giants, you played the 49ers were out of quarterback. I believe that season you played the Bucks with they wasn't scoring doing a lot on offense. I don't know if it was the Bucks, but I know you played the Giants and you played You played the 49ers with the quarter without a quarterback. They literally had nobody to throw the ball. So a lot of people would start looking at that season and saying, "Oh, that season was just a fluke." If you don't build up, if you don't produce this season, so Jalen Hurts, I know you guys are having a lot of problems. I don't know how you guys will deal with how the season ended last year, being the fact that you guys were just terrible on both sides of the ball. Um, and stuff like that. So, Jalen Hurts, you are the number three, my number three quarterback under the most pressure because the fact that there's been reports all off season that you're not getting along with the head coach, your relationship is like tenuous and everything like that. And if you don't produce, you're gonna possibly not be replaced, but you're gonna get a new head coach, or the franchise might say, "Oh, we paid you all of this money. We could just you're not the quarterback for us because you haven't produced. You had that one good season. So you have to make us remember that one good season that you had and say, "Oh, this is who I am as a quarterback. This is the type of player I am. I just don't beat up or I just don't beat up on the teams that you guys want say I was supposed to be and make us believe that Super Bowl season that you guys made the Super Bowl was actually you guys was actually worthy because that playoffs I believe you only threw for 200 total yards in both of your playoff game, and then it was in the Super Bowl that you really exploded. So, being that's the fact, we want to see what type of player is coming into this season. If it's going to be the Jalen Hurts from his first two seasons and then this past season, or is it the Jalen Hurts from the Super Bowl season? Me personally, I think it's the latter. The Jalen Hurts from his rookie season and this past season that's who the real Jalen Hurts is. He's not a real NFL quarterback. Yeah, he could spread the ball around, but I don't really think that he's an elite number one elite quarterback. I don't think he's a top five quarterback. I don't believe that Jalen Hurts should be is even half the quarterback as Dak Prescott. A lot of people give Dak Prescott a lot of you know criticism, and I think the criticism that they give Dak Prescott is justified, and then they let you slide with the criticism. Oh, he was injured. Oh, this, that, and the third. And I don't believe that you deserve all the praise that you're getting just off of that one season. So Jalen Hurts, I'm hoping you prove me wrong, but then again, I know you won't. So there we go. At number two, the quarterback under the most pressure this year I would say Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, if you don't have a good season this year, you're out of here, and we're possibly drafting in the top 10, and we're possibly taking either Carson Beck or Shador Sanders as our quarterback of the future. We have weapons around whoever is would be the quarterback. They put weapons around you, so hopefully this season you could produce. This is a make or break season for you. I know you're coming off of an injury, a ACL injury, but at the end of the day, this is a production lead. What have you done for me lately? And quite frankly, Daniel Jones, you have not done anything positive for the New York Giants. Yes, you made the playoff that one season. You won a playoff games against the Vikings, and I was still not a believer in you after that season. So make me a believer. Or you're out of New York and possibly out of the NFL, or you might be a career backup. Who knows? But if you don't produce this season, Daniel Jones, you possibly won't be a starting quarterback for a NFL franchise team coming in the next future. So who knows? But Daniel Jones, I feel as though this is a make or break season for you because by the end of at the after the season, the Giants can either trade you or cut you, and the dead cap hit won't be that much, and then we could possibly draft a quarterback. So you have to produce this season. I understand that the offensive line was terrible, um, and I won't overreact to what you did in your first game back in the preseason. I think you actually, besides the two interceptions that you thrown, you knocked off the rust and you moved the ball. You made some good decisions. You was aggressive with the ball, so I won't knock you for that. But you gotta stop making the boneheaded mistakes of that pick six that you threw. You gotta stop that. You can't be throwing dumb passes. You cannot be forgetting how to slide. You have to learn how to slide. You have to learn how to protect yourself. All right. And then the number one quarterback under the most pressure to me would be Aaron Rodgers this season. There's so much expectation on Aaron Rodgers. Possibly people think that they could win the AFC, most definitely win the AFC East, anything like that. I think all those people needs to pump their brakes. With Aaron Rodgers, I believe he will be 40 years old. They need to pump their brakes with Aaron Rodgers. Coming off of an injury like that, I don't think Aaron Rodgers would be winning the AFC anytime soon. I don't even think the Jets are the number one team or the number one team in the division. But those are just the expectation that people have thrown on Aaron Rodgers, and you have also put that expectation onto yourself. So Aaron Rodgers this season is. I would say is a make or break season for you. The Jets have catered to your every need. You and the coach obviously do not get along. They do everything that you want, and it's only for so long. You don't produce. You haven't been producing. Last season you only played 4 snaps. The season before your last season in Green Bay, you lost a home game to possibly make the playoffs. And you know, are you on the downside of your career? Not all quarterbacks could be Tom Brady playing into their 40s. So who knows? After the season, you might retire, but going into the season, there's a lot of expectation that you put on yourself, that the media has put onto you, and I want to see if you live up to that. Me personally, a lot of people know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. But that to the side, if you produce, if you make the playoffs this year for the Jets, that would be a good sign. Who knows if you're gonna play next season, but hopefully you can play more than 4 snaps this season. A lot of people have Super Bowl expectation for the Jets. Me, I don't think the Jets uh, are even a top five team in the AFC, but that's just my opinion. But those are just the expectation going into the season that a lot of people have, and I think that's why you are the number one quarterback under the most pressure going into the season. Um, so Aaron Rodgers, hopefully you could produce. All right. Now let's make some predictions. Like I said, We're only doing the AFC East, AFC West. Okay. So that means Kansas City, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. Okay. So with Casey opened the season against Baltimore. Uh, this is a this is um this is a rematch of the AFC Championship game. I think this will be week one. I think Kansas City would and start off with a loss. I don't believe a lot of people. I think the Ravens will be highly motivated going into the season, especially this game. Fresh. They have a great running back in Derrick Henry. They can move the ball. I think that the Ravens will come out and looking for blood and just run the ball down you guys' throat. So possibly you lose to the my prediction is you guys will start up 0-1 and lose to the Ravens. And then for week two, you guys play the Bengals. Um, is it at Cincinnati or okay? So it's in Arrowhead. So this game, we have to see how Cincinnati looks. Um, I wouldn't say necessarily in week one because they playing the Patriots in week one, but we have to see how you guys look against Baltimore. And honestly, I would pick you guys to win this game against Cincinnati, But then again, Joe Burrow might be on a vengeance tour. A lot of teams are going to be on a vengeance tour playing against KC this year. They're going to be highly motivated. They don't want you guys to three-peat. So that's just going to be a lot of what's the name motivation for a lot of teams coming into the season that will be facing you guys. So you guys possibly could start off 0-2, and who knows, that might make it impossible for y'all to win the AFC, or not win the AFC, but finish number one in the AFC and have home field advantage. But with those two losses, those the first 2 weeks might possibly be a sign. Like I said, I like Kansas City this year. I think Patrick Mahomes will have an explosive season, a 5,000-yard passing season. The first one in a while. And I think he might have 50 touchdowns, but I would just say the first 2 weeks you guys might start off slow. I know you guys are playing at home. You guys might have will have a 10-day break in between games because you guys played the opener and then play it again the 15th. So you guys might be well rested, but I would think that you guys might start off 0-2 or 1-1. My prediction is you guys will start off 0-2 because I think Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase all are gonna be on a mission. I think um the Cincinnati Bengals defense and everything like that will be more suitable. Um, so yeah, Kansas City, like I said, you guys possibly could start off 1-1 or 0-2, but definitely got you guys losing to Baltimore. I think Baltimore will be highly motivated, highly motivated. Um, the Cincinnati Bengals, the receivers, the quarterback going to be highly motivated. A lot of teams you guys play this year are going to be highly motivated. And we have seen that the Bengals defensive coordinator has been the only one to possibly slow down the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, Kansas City start off slow on most season, so we'll see. They might start off 0-2, but that you guys possibly won't win the have the number one seed in the conference, but you guys definitely still will win your division because in week 3 you guys play the Atlanta Falcons. Um, I'm just going off of. I think you guys definitely be in Atlanta in week 3. Um, week 3 against Atlanta. I think that's where you guys get your first win. I understand that Atlanta has some good players on the team and everything like that. Um, some good off elite offensive weapons. Um, I'm gonna be honest. If Kirk Cousins come back to the form that he was before he got hurt, this might be a loss for you guys too. I'm just being honest, but I will give you guys the win here against Atlanta. But I don't know because I really like the Falcons' offense. Now the defense might be sus, so that's why the defense have a lot of good players. They have a defensive head coach, but he's going into his rookie year, so I don't know how good the defense will be to start off this season. But but if the offense could carry them, I don't know. They might be able to keep up with y'all, might be more explosive than y'all on the offensive side of the ball. But like I said, I would give you guys the win against Atlanta. And then in week 4, I think you guys will beat the Chargers in SoFi. I think you guys would dominate your division, to be honest. Win your division again for the team time in a row. The Chargers, I think they're gonna build off of the season. Um, like I said earlier, I think the Chargers are gonna be a heavy ball control, ball dominant team. But we both know that we all know that Kansas City, they they don't need the ball for that long. They don't need time of possession. They could just with the addition of Xavier Worthy, they could just be highly explosive, and the Chargers defense might be a little suspect. All right, so that puts y'all at a 2-2 record with a conference record of 1-2. So I don't think you guys are will be far back in the conference, but you guys will start off your first 4 weeks at 2-2. Then I have then you guys play the Saints. This is an automatic W. The Saints, nobody knows what they're doing at the quarterback position, the offense. I think a lot of players on the Saints will get traded mid-season, including um, Alvin Kamara, Marcus Lattimore, all of that. I think they will get traded mid-season to contenders. So who knows? Y'all might be in a position to pick up one of these players, especially Marcus Lattimore on the defensive side of the ball to put him across from Snead. Um, so yeah, you guys will be at the end of 5 weeks will be 3-2. All right, then you guys going into your bye. Then coming out the bye, you guys have San Francisco. I think you guys will beat San Francisco. I know San Francisco will be on a revenge tour, but I just don't think they could beat you guys. I don't think with the you guys are more explosive. You guys are just a better team. As much as San Francisco doesn't want to admit it, they you guys are just a better team. Y'all played twice in the Super Bowl and you guys beat them with different quarterback plays, same players, almost the same players, just different quarterback for them. And you guys are just a better team. That's just my opinion. A lot of people say, "Oh, they was just a play away from beating y'all." I don't believe that. I think you guys are just better than the 49ers. There's a lot of teams that you guys are just better than. No matter how many times people will say, oh, this, that, and the third. They said the same thing with the Bills. Oh, they was 13 seconds away from beating you guys. And then the next season you guys play, or the next season, next time you guys play in the playoff, you guys dominate them. So I just don't believe the 49ers are going to beat y'all. Then you guys have the Raiders. I think that's a W. So I think that's a W against the Raiders. So at the end of week 8, I believe you guys would have 5-2. Record will be 5-2, and then Tampa Bay. I believe you guys would beat Tampa Bay. With the Raiders, I don't know what they're doing at the quarterback position. I'm not high. I think the Raiders will finish last in the division this year. With Tampa Bay, offense, defense, who knows? They might be a middle of the pack team. That division, the NFC South might be up for grabs. Who knows? But in the NFC South, I don't want to make my prediction, but I like the Atlanta Falcons to win that division. I think this will be cake. These 2 weeks will be a cakewalk for y'all. Then you guys got the Broncos. I think again that would be another cakewalk. So week 9, that's a W. Then week 10 against the Broncos. Wait, let me see. Week 9 is Tampa Bay. Week 10 is the Broncos. And then so yeah, I think you guys will be on a little win streak after the first two games. You guys might be on pace to break you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you guys might stumble coming out the gate, but then you guys will regroup. And then against the Bills, I think you guys will beat the Bills again. Like I said, those are just one of the teams that I just think no matter what they do, they just can't beat you guys. They can make all the excuses in the world, but they just can't beat the you guys. So the Bills, I would give you guys a little win streak, and then you guys got the Panthers. That's another win for you guys, and then the Raiders. And then to close out, you have the Raiders in week 13. That's another win. I don't think the Raiders are beating y'all. Then the Chargers. This is where I think you guys might take your third L of the season. Again, this might be a up for grabs because I think as the season progressed, the Chargers would get better, be more bar dominant, but then sprinkling be a explosive offense down the stretch with the quarterback play. So I think this is where you guys get your third loss. But other than that, you guys look good so far. Then you have the Browns. With the Browns, I'm giving you guys a win there because I don't believe Deshaun Watson is going to be who knows? I don't want to be down on Deshaun Watson. I just don't think that the Browns are going to beat y'all. You guys will beat the Browns. I understand it's in Cleveland, but I believe you guys will beat the Browns. Until Deshaun Watson proves that he could return back to that form from his time in Houston, I will be you know I won't believe in the Browns. Yeah, I know that you guys might have a good defense, but every good defense during the season, you guys might the Browns might have an elite defense, but the key to being an elite defense is an explosive offense, a ball dominant offense, and I think that's what Kansas City will go for. I think Patrick Mahomes will show out that game, and I think this will be the game that makes Mahomes the MVP of the season. This right here, like I said, I know he will be on pace to throw for 5,000 yards, possibly 50 touchdowns. But against the Browns, I think this game will be a key game where this is where he will win the MVP and have it locked up. Yes, I'm predicting Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP of the regular season this year. And then against Houston, a lot of people have hopes for Houston, but I just don't think Houston is ready yet to compete, not to compete, but to play against Kansas City. They might be able to compete. The offense is comparable, but the defense, I still want to see if their defense put it all together. They have some good pieces on the defensive side of the ball. So I think this game will be a toss up, but just from the defensive side of the ball. When y'all playing them at home too. So I think that would be another win for you guys. Then the Steelers in Week 17, I believe this y'all are gonna beat the Steelers once again, and then you end the season with the Broncos. All right, so that gives Kansas City 3 losses and 5, 7, 9, 14 wins. And who knows, you guys could probably win a division or not even the division. You guys definitely going to win the division, but might win a conference with that record. We'll speak on the other and AFC teams in the future. But like I said, just because I'm picking you guys to lose the first 2 games doesn't mean that you guys won't be able to finish the number one team in the conference or possibly, have home field advantage throughout the playoffs again. Um, I think that would be a good position for Kansas City to be in, um, given the fact, just given that fact, I think Kansas City should be able to win that division once again. All right, so let's move on to the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Raiders, week one they have the Chargers. I think the Chargers will beat them in week one. All right, give me 1 second. So I think week one the Chargers would beat the Raiders, so that's a L. I just think the Chargers are the better team. Week two against the Ravens, that's another L. I think the Ravens are a better team, better quarterback. Week three against the Browns, another L. Damn. So the Raiders might not get their first win until they play either the Broncos or the Steelers, and who knows by that time if Antonio Pierce still be coaching or he might be on the hot seat or whatever. But I think the first. Oh no, I lied. I lied. Give me 1 second. All right. So against. All right. So week one against the Raiders, that's an L. I mean, week one for the Raiders against the Chargers, that's an L. Week two for the against the Ravens, that's an L. Week three against the Panthers, I think that's where you guys get your first win. So you guys might start off the season 1-2. Then you guys play the Browns. I believe that's another L, just because of the defense, the quarterback, at the quarterback position. Even though Deshaun Watson might not be what he used to be, I think he's still better than what you guys have at the quarterback position. Week five against the Broncos. Now that might be a toss up. I think you guys will split. So you guys are playing in Denver week five. So I would give you guys an L. Week 6 against the Steelers. I think you guys could possibly beat the Steelers. So I'll say that's a W. Week 7 against the Rams. I would think that's an L. I like the Rams quarterback over you guys, so that's an L. Week 8, Kansas City. Like I said, that's an L. Week 9 against the Bengals. That's an L. And I'm doing this off of the offense, the quarterback, the defense, and that's just my criteria. I'm just looking at head to head, who I think is the better quarterback, who I think is the better offense, who I think is the better defense, and who I think is the better coach. So this is how I'm making my prediction. Then you have the bye in week 10. Then week 11, that's a L. I think Tua is better than anything you guys have at quarterback. I think Miami offense is more explosive, and Miami defense will be back to good. Who knows? Yeah, Miami defense will be back to what it used to, what it's supposed to be. They had a lot of players injured last season, so we'll see. Week 12, this is a W, because like I said, you guys will split with the Broncos. Then week 13 against Kansas City, I believe that's an L. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield. I don't know. This might be a toss up. You guys are playing in Tampa Bay. So I want to say you guys will win this game for week 14. I want to say you guys will win this game. Simply just the fact that you guys have more offensive weapons. So I'll give you guys the nod there. Against the Falcons, that's an L. Against the Jaguars, trying to think. You guys are at home against the Jags. The Jags tend to. I think that would be a L. That's one of the games that you guys will win that you guys are not supposed to win. I think against the Saints, you guys will beat the Saints. The Saints will be fairly depleted playing for next year. I think the Saints might have a top 1 or 2 pick next season that nobody is talking about. They always saying the Giants will have a 1 or 2 pick, but the Saints is the team that people need to talk about. And then against the Chargers, I think that's a L. All right. So the Raiders, I ran through that fairly quickly because I don't really expect much from the Raiders. So you guys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. So I'm expecting the Raiders to be a top 10 pick, have a top 10 pick this season, and hopefully draft a quarterback. All right. All right. So the Chargers, week 1, like I said, I expect them to beat the Raiders, and then week 2, I expect them to beat the Panthers. Week 3, I expect them to beat the Steelers. Week 4 against Kansas City, I think I had Kansas City winning, so that's an L in week 4. Week 5 is the bye. Week 6 against the Broncos, I think you guys were split against the Broncos, so you guys are on the road against the Broncos. I think that's an L. All right. Arizona against Arizona, I think you guys are better than Arizona, so that's a W. It's the Saints, I think you guys are better than the Saints. That's a W. This is a good game against the Browns. I believe this will be a defining game of the season for you guys. Just being the fact that the Browns are defense and see if they want to do the same thing you guys do. You guys are playing in Cleveland in November. I want to say that's a W. Then against Tennessee, that's a W. Cincinnati, that's a L. Atlanta against Atlanta week 13, that's a L. Kansas City, that's a L. Let me see. Let me go back from the bye. So bye in week 5. Then you have the Broncos, that's a W. Broncos. Oh, week 6, that's a L. I said because they're gonna split. Week 7, that will be a W. Week 8, W. Week 9, W. Week 10, W. Week 11, that's L. Oh, okay, I skipped week 12. So week 12 against the Ravens, that's an L. Week 13 against the Falcons, I think that's an L. Then week 14, that's an L. Now, week 14, I had you guys splitting. So week 14, I will give you guys the win in Kansas City against Kansas City. Week 15. Week 15, that's a W. Denver, I said you guys would split, so that would be in SoFi, so that's a W. New England, that's a W. And Raiders, that's a W. So the Chargers, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got the Chargers a 12-win team to finish Jim Harbaugh first year back in the NFL. All right, then the Broncos. Broncos. All right, for the Broncos, I said week 1. Broncos week 1 against Seattle. I think that would be what are you playing? I think Seattle. You guys will win Seattle. And I think you guys will beat the Steelers too. I think you guys will beat Tampa Bay in week 3. I think you guys will beat the Jets in week 4. Yeah, I think you guys will beat the Jets in week 4. Raiders. Week 5. Week 5, I think you guys will beat the Raiders. Wow, Broncos might start off hot in that division. Then week 6, I think that's where you guys take your first L. Never mind. I know one of these games is the hell, so let me be honest with myself. You guys could, I think you guys could beat the Seahawks. Steelers, I think you guys could beat them. You guys are at home against the Steelers, so yeah. I think you guys could beat, yeah. Oh, no. So I don't like the Steelers QB position. That's why I'll take you guys over them. Tampa Bay, I'll take you guys over Tampa Bay too. The Jets, that might be a L, but I'm giving you guys the win. All right, on to week 7. That's a W. Panthers, W. Ravens, L. Against the Chiefs, correct? Is that 10? That's an L. Okay, so week 11, we have against the Falcons. I think you guys will lose against the Falcons. I think you guys will start coming back down to earth. But then, since it's a Sunday night game, no. So yeah, I think you guys will lose. And I have you guys being when we can start with 12. So that's another L. And then L against Cleveland. And you guys have your bye week 14. And week 15 against the Colts. I think the Colts are better. So that's a L. Chargers in 16. I think that's an L. L. Kansas City. All right. All right. So as far as the AFC West go for the Chargers, I have them starting off hot and then losing down the stretch, fading down the stretch. Not the Chargers, the Broncos. Have them starting off hot and then fading down the stretch. So yeah, that seems reasonable. All right. So as far as the division winners, like I said, KC will be number 1 in the division. Then I have the Chargers number 2, and then the Broncos will be finished number 3 in the division, and then the Raiders will finish last in the division. If you guys disagree with anything that with any of my picks, let me know in the comments. I read the comments, anything like that, or just with anything that I discussed today. If you guys have any opinions, reactions, discussions, just hit the comment section and we can have a discussion and I could do videos on it or anything like that. So that's just my prediction for the AFC West. All right, for the AFC West, the division winners will possibly be, would be Kansas City, and then hopefully the Chargers will be a bubble playoff team. I think two teams from that division might make the playoff. So yeah, that is my prediction for the AFC West. If you guys have any reactions, make sure you hit the comment sections, drop the comment. Just make sure you guys like the video, keep making more videos, and then next time, or probably tomorrow, I'll make another video going on the AFC. I could do the AFC East. I could do another team, another division from the AFC, or I could possibly do both. All of the AFC predictions with the AFC North, the AFC South, and the AFC East. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate the love, and I will be back. Thank you.